Hello all, welcome to MSc Microbiology course, CCTP 7 Immunology. Today from the chapter Cell Surface Molecules and Receptor, we are going to discuss about the cytokine receptors. So, as we have discussed earlier, for the development of effective immune response, it includes different type of the immune cell like lymphoid cell, inflammatory cell and the hematopoietic cells. Now all these cells they play different role in the immune system development or the development of immune response. And for the development of immune response, they should communicate with each other. So in case of the immunology, the communication between the different kind of the immune cell will be take place by the cytokines. So the main function of this cytokine is that they control proliferation, differentiation and functions of the cells of the immune system so that they will be able to generate appropriate immune response. So what are these cytokines? Cytokines can be defined as low molecular weight regulatory proteins or they are maybe glycoproteins which are secreted by white blood cells and various other cells in the body, and they will be secreted in response to number of stimuli. Now what are the properties of this cytokine? So these cytokines they bind to specific receptors which are present on the membrane of target cell. So once they bind to the receptor, they trigger signal transduction pathway and they will alter the expression of the gene in the target cells. So this cytokine and their receptor they show very high affinity for the each other and therefore they will be essential in sending intracellular responses. Now here you can see this is the cytokine producing cell. Okay, so when a particular stimulus is occur, then this cell will try to produce the cytokines. Okay, now these are the cytokines which are secreted by this cytokine producing cell. These cytokines they will bind to the receptor of the target cell. Now this is the target cell. These cytokines will bind to the receptor which are present on the target cell. So once this cytokine they bind to the receptor, signal will be sent within the this target cell. So once they receive the signal, the activation of a particular gene will take place and it will show its biological effect. So, particular cytokine it may bind to the receptor on the number of stem cells that secrete it. If such a kind of the action of cytokine is there, then we can say it is autocrine action. That is, a cell which produces a cytokine, the same cytokine will be bind to the receptor which is present on the producer cell. In some of the cases, this cytokine they exhibit paracrine action, that is, once they are secreted by a producer cell, they will bind to the receptor on target cell which is present in the close proximity. So such a kind of the action will be called as the paracrine action. While in some of the cases, the cytokines which is produced by a producer cell, it may be bind to the receptor which is present on the target cell, and that target cell is located at different parts of the body. So in that case, we can say the cytokine it exhibit endocrine action. So here you can see now autocrine action. Now, the this is the cytokine producing cell. Once it produces the cytokine, these cytokines will bind to the receptor on the same cell which produces them. This action will be called as the autocrine action. In case of the paracrine action, now this is cytokine producing cell. It produces the cytokine. This cytokine will bind to the receptor of the target cell. Now, in this case, this target cell is situated far apart from this cytokine producing cell, and this one is called as the paracrine action. In case of the autocrine action, in case of the endocrine action, now cytokine producing cell produces the cytokine. This cytokine through the blood circulation they will be reached to the receptor which are present on the target cell, and that target cell will be situated at distant part of the body. Now, the attributes of cytokine. First attribute is the pleiotropy. Pleiotropy is a property of cytokine, that is, a given cytokine, it shows different biological effects on different target cells. Second attribute of cytokine is the redundancy, that is, two or more cytokines they will mediate similar functions. Third attribute is synergy, that is, the combined effect of two cytokines on the cellular activity. So, in case of the pleiotropy, now here we are taking the example of activated T helper cell. Now, this activated T helper cell it produces a cytokine interleukin 4. Now, this interleukin 4 will act on different target cells like the B cell, thymocytes, and the mast cell. So, when this interleukin 4 it will bind to the receptor which is present on the B cell, it will carry out the activation, proliferation, and differentiation of B cell. If this interleukin 4 it will bind to the receptor of this thymocyte, then it will undergo the proliferation. If this interleukin 4 it bind to the receptor on the mast cell, then this mast cell undergo the proliferation. So these are the different effects on different target cell of the same cytokine, and this attribute we call as the pleiotropy. Now here you can see this is the cascade induction. Activated T helper cell it produces another cytokine interferon gamma which show its action on the macrophages. Now next one is the antagonism, that is the effect of one cytokine it will inhibit or offset the effect of another cytokine. Now next one is the cascade induction, that is one cytokine when it shows its action on the target cell, then it induces that cell to produce one or more cytokines. Then this attribute is called as the cascade induction. In case of the cascade induction, one cytokine which is produced by the target cell, when it binds to that target cell, it induces the producer to produce one or more other cytokines. So here you can see this is the activated T helper cell. Now interleukin 2, interleukin 4 and interleukin 5. These three types of the cytokines will be produced by this cytokine producer cell. Now all this will show when they bind to the receptor of this B cell, proliferation will take place. Now active synergy, in that what will happen, this is the activated T helper cell, these are the two interleukin 4 and 5. When we combine these two interleukins they will exhibit their effect on the B cell. So the combined effect of these two cytokines on the B cell it induces this two class switch to IgE. Now the next is antagonism. Now Here also we are taking the example of interleukin 4 and the interferon gamma. These two cytokines are produced by the activated T helper cell. Now here also we are going to discuss the effect of these two cytokines on the B cells. So interleukin 4, as you know, its main function is to proliferate and it may induces the class switching. So if we see the effect of this interleukin 4, what will happen? Its effect will be neutralized by this interferon gamma. So when interferon gamma is present along with interleukin 4. It will block the class switching to IgE class of antibody which was induced by interleukin 4. Now in the next one, types. So different types of the cytokines are the lymphokines. Lymphokines are the cytokines which are secreted by the lymphocytes. Monokines are the cytokines which are mainly secreted by the monocytes and the macrophages. Interleukin, these are the cytokines which are secreted by leukocyte and they will act on other leukocytes. Chemokines, these are the low molecular weight cytokines that affect the chemotaxis. And the last type of the cytokine is the TNF, tumor necrosis factor. Now these are the group of cytokine and that can cause cell death and these are mainly produced by the monocytes. Now the cytokine receptors. Cytokine receptors, they fall within 5 families. Now the receptors for different cytokines, they are diverse structurally but they are belong to 5 families of receptor protein. So 5 families of cytokine receptors are the immunoglobulin superfamily receptor, class 1 cytokine receptor family, class 2 cytokine receptor family, TNF receptor family and the chemokine receptor family. So we will discuss each of this family in detail. So these are the classes of cytokine receptor families. So first type is the class 1 and these are the ligands. Class type 2 cytokine receptor, the structure and the different ligands. Now third diagram will show the TNF receptor family and the ligands for this receptor, and the fourth one will show the interleukin 1 receptor family and their different ligands. So first we will discuss immunoglobulin superfamily receptor. Immunoglobulin superfamily, it is a surface receptor and the soluble proteins and they are mainly involved in the recognition. Now this structure, the receptor, it will consist of heavy and the light chain and they possess immunoglobulin-like domain or the fold and therefore they are called as the immunoglobulin superfamily receptor. Now this immunoglobulin superfamily receptor, they contain about 70 to 110 amino acids. Now this is the diagram of immunoglobulin superfamily receptor. Here you can see this will consist of immunoglobulin-like domain or the fold and therefore they are called as the immunoglobulin superfamily receptor. Interleukin 1, MCSF and the CKIT, this will serve as the ligand for this immunoglobulin superfamily receptors. Now these are the large number of membrane proteins. They will be bind or they will be homologous to this immunoglobulin and they will be the member of immunoglobulin superfamily. Now they are interacted with the T cell receptor and they are mainly secreted by the present on the platelet derived growth factor. Class 1 cytokine receptor family, also known as hematopoietic receptor family. The members of this family, they have conserved amino acid sequence motifs in the extracellular domain which consist of 4 positionally conserve cysteine residues. In addition to that, it also having conserved sequence of tryptophan, serine, any amino acid, again tryptophan, serine sequence. Now this diagram will show the class 1 cytokine receptor. Here you can see on the extracellular domains, these two boxes are there. One will consist of conserved cysteine residues, while the second one will consist of tryptophan, serine, X, any amino acid, tryptophan, serine. Now, these are the molecules which serve as the ligand for this class 1 cytokine receptor. It include interleukin 2, interleukin 3, interleukin 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, interleukin 13, interleukin 15, GM-CSF, G-CSF, OSM, LAF, CNTF, growth hormones and the prolactin. These are the different ligands for this class 1 cytokine receptors. Now class 2 cytokine receptor family, it consists of two extracellular domain which is having conserved cysteine residues. But it differ from class 1 cytokine receptor family that it lacks the WSX-WS motif, which consists of tryptophan, serine. X will stand for any amino acid tryptophan, serine motif. Now class 1 and the class 2 cytokine receptor, they have multiple subunit, but one subunit it consists of a specific receptor and second one will involve in the transfer, it will mediate the signal transduction. Now this is the structure of class 2 cytokine receptor. So here you can see it mainly consists of the cysteine residues, conserved cysteine residues, and the ligands for this class 2 cytokine receptors are the interferon alpha, beta, gamma and interleukin 10. Chemokine receptors. Now chemokine receptors are G-protein couple receptor because they contain 7 transmembrane domain and they are mainly composed of 350 amino acids. They are divided into acidic extracellular amino terminal end and intracellular C terminal end. Now N-terminal end of this chemokine receptor, they are linked together by disulfide linkage between two conserved cysteine residues. Now this N-terminal end, it will bind to the chemokine and it is specific for its ligand. While intracellular carboxyl terminal end, it consists of mainly serine and the threonine residue. Now these two residues will act as a phosphorylation site during the regulation and they are important for the signaling process. Now this is the structure of chemokine receptor. Here you can see like the G protein, it is called as the, it is serpentine receptor as it span the membrane for 7 times. Now these are the ligands for chemokine receptor: interleukin 8, rantis, then MIP1, PF4, MCAF, NAP2. These are the different ligands for chemokine receptors. Now, tumor necrosis factor receptor superfamily. Now, this is a group of cytokine receptors and they are characterized by their ability to bind to tumor necrosis factor via an cysteine-rich domain which is present at the extracellular domain. Now, this tumor necrosis factor receptor, they consist of trimeric complexes. They contain transmembrane domain and they require specific adapter protein such as RIPFADD for the signaling. So these are the tumor necrosis factor receptor. Here you can see on the extracellular domain, it will consist of different residues. And these are the ligand for this tumor necrosis factor receptor: tumor necrosis factor alpha, tumor necrosis factor beta, CD40, nerve growth factor, and the FAS. Now, let's discuss how these cytokine receptors they activate the signaling pathways. So for that, JAKs and the STAT pathways they are mainly activated by these cytokine receptors. So this chemokine and the receptor they play a role in cancer metastasis because they are mainly involved in the extravasation, migration, micrometastasis and the angiogenesis of the cells. Now, tumor necrosis factor receptor is mainly involved in apoptosis and the inflammation process. In addition to that, they also take part in signal transduction pathway which leads to the proliferation and differentiation of the cells. So the first step in the pathway, signal transduction pathway, which was mediated by this cytokine receptor, is that first step is the binding of the cytokine to the receptors. Okay, so when cytokine will bind to the receptor, it results in the dimerization of the receptors. So when the receptors are dimerized, the next step is the phosphorylation of this JAK, that is the Janus kinase. So on this JAK mainly the phosphorylation of tyrosine residues will take place. So when this JAK is getting activated, that is the phosphorylated, then the next step is the activation of this STAT. The activation of this STAT was take place or carried out by the tyrosine residues which are present on the JAK. So this tyrosine residues they transfer phosphate group to this STAT, so it get activated. So once this get activated, the dimer, here you can see two subunits of this STAT are there. So once they are getting activated by receiving the phosphate group from these tyrosine residues of the JAK, the dimerization of the STAT will take place. Okay, now this STAT, once it is dimerized, it will be passed to the nuclear membrane, and it will act as a activator of the transcription. So its translocation of the STAT will take place to the cell DNA, and it will lead to the transcription of specific target genes. Thank you.